All right, everyone. As many of you know, my name is Tammy Morrison. I've been with Karatbars since the beginning, 2010 to be exact. We were not really a company then, but we're going to get into that just a little bit more later. I grew up not unlike many of you did, and there are some things that happen in all of our lives that can cause us to have a block when we get into a situation where maybe we are supposed to move forward. However, the demons of our past are keeping us from opening that door. And, I grew up in a childhood where at the age of 2, I was taken by my grandmother to my mother. So I did not have the luxury of growing up, from the ages of 2 to 10 in my mother's household. She tried everything that she could to get me back. Unfortunately, it didn't work. My childhood was charmed until the age of 3 when my grandfather passed away. And I had a grandmother that was extremely strict, extremely mean. That's the only word I can say is mean. And I had to deal with that. So at the age of 10, I decided that I was going to leave. And I left and I went to my father's house, and I told him, I said, I want to live with my mom. And so we went and took the trip to Georgia to live with my mom. Unfortunately, a couple years later, some circumstances happened that relationship didn't work out with my mom and my stepfather. To this day, I have regrets. I have guilt over things that happened, but I also have to understand that in no way was it my fault. And so from that point on, I realized, and even as a small child, I realized that I was meant for bigger and greater things. And it took me a long time to figure out what those things were. So at the age of 17, I moved out of the house, had a roommate. We did the best we could to survive. We both had full-time jobs. We were adults, full-blown adults at the age of 17. We'd both been working since the age of 10. So this was kind of a no-brainer for us. We just came out and we came into the world as adults. I went into the restaurant business because that is the business that my family had the most. They all owned restaurants, or they worked in restaurants, or things of that nature. And for me to say that it was a bad experience is not true, because the experience that I had in the restaurant business truly prepared me for what I needed to go through in the rest of my life. So at the age of about 28, I decided maybe it's time that I get into something that is a little bit more stable, a little bit more lucrative. So I remember going on an interview, and as many of you know, there's a group, a bank called Citigroup. And Citigroup was one of the largest banks in the world. I was ecstatic that they wanted to interview me. And so I went ahead and I applied for the job. It did require a college degree, which I did not have. And through the interview, it was about a 3-hour interview. And through the interview, at the end, I said, you know what, on paper, I may not be the best person for this job. However, 6 months from now, you're going to wonder how you ever got along without me. So in that, I was actually able to go in and get that position and do extremely well with that position. I'm going to mute out somebody that's not muted. There we go, Paul. Gotcha. I'm trying to mute you, Paul. Paul, can you go ahead and mute your microphone for me? It's not allowing me to do it. So I spent 10 years of my life really focusing on Citigroup, really focusing on taking their auto division to the next level. I was, so good at it that 11 months in, they started, they asked me to be a sales trainer. And so what that meant was people that were coming on new with Karatbars, they would come and ride with me for 2 weeks. They would come and learn everything that needed to be done in this job in a 2-week period. We had extreme success with that. I became the top producer in the Southeast, and sometimes the top producer in the United States. But again, I wasn't sure this is where I was supposed to be. But everything that I learned in that position made me the person that I am today. So about 3 years in, 4 years in, they decided, we want you to be the national sales trainer. So I got on a plane every Monday. I traveled to a different city here in the US. I did a 3-day workshop, which consisted of taking all of the branch managers and the dealer development representatives, which is what I was prior, and teaching them what I did, teaching them how to be productive, how to increase the sales in their branches and environments. And we did really well. And one of the things that I did was I would make them each bring a report, and the report would show me their dealerships and their what they were doing with the dealerships, how the business was going. So at the end of the workshop, I asked them to select 5, okay, 5 dealerships that they could go in and decide that they were going to implement what they learned in the workshop into those dealerships. And what we saw was over 100% increase of business with those dealerships month 1, month 2, and month 3. Not 100% total, but 100% on month 1, another 100% on month 2, and another 100% on month 3. So I knew that what I was doing was helping people to make more money. I was doing something that could change their lives and their families' lives. However, in 2008, we all know what happened. And, you may be in a different country, but what happened in the United States and really hurt people all over the world. So with that being said, we started on a downhill slide. We were bailed out. Citigroup was one of those banks that could not fail. And if they could not fail, I felt very safe working with them. However, we started laying off in April of 2008. And it wasn't just a normal layoff. Okay? It wasn't like they met you with HR and you lost your job. We had massive layoffs. I remember the first one was April 9th, 2008. I was on my way to pick up a friend at the airport, and I got a message from my manager. And my manager said, we have a mandatory call. I need you to be on it. So I pulled over into a parking lot, and I always tell this story. I was plucking my eyebrows. Okay, I was plucking my eyebrows because the sun was there, and you can really see your eyebrows. And I had the phone on speakerphone, and this is what I heard. The gentleman that was talking was the vice president of operations for our group. And he said, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is if you're on this call, you're safe. The bad news is we're closing all branches and buying centers west of the Mississippi River, and we're laying off all of the sales staff. My heart broke, because you have to understand, all of these people had been through my workshop. I knew them on a personal level. So I could not help thinking about, what are they going to do? How is this going to affect their family? So I kept plucking and I kept crying. I ended up with half an eyebrow. I had to draw it on for a few months. But life goes on. And so there were several other major layoffs done in the same way. Major conference call saying, hey, we're done. You're done. And so many people lost everything they had because this company could not afford to pay them any longer. In September of 2009, I got a phone call from my manager saying that we were having a call with HR. I knew what it was. I wasn't stupid. I knew that I was being downsized. But the funny part is that they told me I was geographically downsized. Okay? Now, remember back to what I said before. I got up on Monday morning, got on a plane, and went somewhere else to work. So I couldn't possibly be geographically downsized if I wasn't working in my area. But that was the reason that they gave me. Now, with that being said, I did get a good severance package. and I was able to survive. So in 2010, I got a phone call from Britt Gober, which is Cheryl Ann Gober's husband, and he said to me, if I asked you to save $1 gram of gold a month, would you? And I said, sure. He goes, great, I'll call you back. And so we started, Karatbars. We had nothing but, excuse me, Paul, your bandwidth is low, but that's okay. We had nothing at the time but an Excel spreadsheet in our warm market. And we knew, quite a few people in the warm market. And hold on one second for me, guys. I had to grab a water. Something just went down my throat and I don't know what it was. So we really didn't know what we were doing. We were just, I remember Cheryl Ann telling me, don't tell anybody. And, the fact of the matter was, I'm going to put this on gallery view so we can see everybody. Everybody can see themselves? Yes? All right, so the fact of the matter was, we weren't telling anybody. However, somehow we ended up building a tremendous team. And we had nothing but an Excel spreadsheet. We had nothing but face-to-face calls, face-to-face meetings. We had a conference call once a week. And out of this, something wonderful happened. We were able to build this team, and the excitement that was there in 2010 and building this team was incredible. So it was a full year later before we were able to actually launch in the United States and Canada. Remember, Karatbars was not a worldwide corporation. Karatbars was a vision. Harold Seitz has vision. And I am not new to this industry, okay? I have attempted 12 times before to create some type of income other than going to a job, okay? So what does that tell you? I'm not very good at this. So if I can do it, a small town girl from Georgia can do this. Each and every one of you within the sound of my voice can do this as well. People sometimes say, oh, you got lucky. Yes, I did. Because the definition of lucky is when preparation meets opportunity. I was prepared. I had learned everything I needed to learn. I knew how to manage a team. I knew how to speak to people. I knew all of these things. But here's the part that I had to accept. God took away what I had, which was a 6-figure a year job, company car, benefits, all of those things. He took that away from me because I was so competitive. If I was not first, I was the second loser. He took me through a time in 2010, 11, and half of 2012 that were the most rough financial times in my life. People ask me, why do you tell your story? Why are you so transparent? Because behind every success story is a story. I have a story. Each of you have a story. It's not always been easy. Is there anybody, raise your hand if you're on there. Have you always had it easy? No. We all have our challenges in life. But as I look back on it, I say to myself, you know what? God put me through 2010, 12 and half, or 11 and half of 2012 to humble me, to make sure that I created within myself that servant heart, that I could care less about my success. I care about your success. I want to love each and every one of you. As Cheryl Ann says, I want to love you all to success. And if I'm not doing that on a daily basis, then I'm not doing what God put me here to do. So when we finally launched the company in 2011, I had actually let's talk about the 2010, 11, 12. By 2011, my severance package had run out. I was doing everything that I could, but to be honest, guys, the only pay plan. Now, let me tell you, when I got my first pay run with Karatbars, and I think it was April, May, maybe of 2011, it was $34. Now, think about this. This is after building this team on an Excel spreadsheet. I had to run into my prayer closet. I had to throw some holy water in it, and I had to brush it out with sage because I had said some words in that prayer closet that should never be uttered in a prayer closet. So I decided and made the conscious decision to just walk away. I didn't have a choice. $34 is not going to support my family. Did I want to make that choice? Absolutely not. I believed in Karatbars so very much. I knew it was the place that I was supposed to be. However, it just wasn't the right timing. So I ended up taking a job making $30,000 a year. Now, when you go from making $150,000 a year to $30,000 a year, things change in your life. Now, a lot of people think I live in a big mansion on a private island somewhere, and then I have my own personal jet that takes me everywhere I want to go. And, I have, chefs and butlers, and that could not be further from the truth, guys. I live in the same house I've lived in since 2009. I drive a 5-year-old car. It's a nice car, but it's a 5-year-old car. Everything I have is paid for. I have worked extremely hard to make sure that happened. So when I took this job in 2011, I did it out of necessity. I did it out of the fact that I have to find a way to pay the light bill. I have to find a way to pay, the groceries. I spent so many nights walking up and down the halls because for those of you who know me, I have 3 children. Taylor's 11. Jordan will soon be 22. Josh will soon be 27. Josh had already gone off to college. Jordan and Taylor were still here with me. And I spent countless nights walking the halls going, how do I pay the light bill, pay the mortgage, and still keep money for food? There were so many times when I did not understand how I could possibly do it all. And remember, guys, this was 2011, 2012, so it wasn't that long ago. In May of 2012, I actually got a job offer from a company doing exactly what I used to do. Now, in my mind, in my heart, I'm thinking, no, I don't want to do exactly what I used to do. Who's to say it's going to stop? Who's to say it's going to ever last? But in my mind, I knew that it was my only option. So May of 2012, I went ahead and took another job. Yes, I was making over $100,000 a year. Yes, I had a company car. Yes, I had benefits. Yes, I had all the things, the perfect job. However, I was away from my family. I wasn't there when Taylor got home from school. I couldn't help with homework. I was traveling 4 1,000 miles a month, not in an airplane, in a car. I was driving and driving and driving. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I was miserable. So June of 2013, I got a call. And it was from Cheryl Ann Goper. Cheryl Ann has always said, love your people to success. She loved me to success. Here's how the conversation went. Hey, you got to come back. And I said, to where? I thought she meant church. And she says, no, you have to come back to Karatbars. And I said, honey, I can't. My husband and I, because remember, I failed 12 times before. What makes this different? I said, my husband and I signed a contract. I can no longer do anything but work a job. I have to have a paycheck, a steady paycheck. I have to have, the company car. I have to have the benefits. I can't. And she said to me 3 very important words. Nothing else matters. So I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and buy a package, but you need to work it out with corporate that they get this package delivered to your house. Because if they have it delivered to my house, my husband will throw a fit. So we worked it out. We had the package delivered to her house. A couple of weeks later, I went and picked it up. I ordered a gold package. Now, here's how I got around that. Is my check at the time was direct deposited into my account. I wrote it down as $800 less than what it truly was. When my husband asked me about it, I said, wow, we had a really, really bad month at our life. So I picked the package up at her house. I hid it in my car. I was so scared that he would find it and want to know what it was I was doing and why I was going against him. But in my brain and in my heart, my thought was, this is the last time I have to prove that I can do this. But most importantly, this is the last time in my life I may have to prove my husband wrong. And to me, that was a little bit more important. So I picked up the package. Very shortly after that, I had made enough in commissions to go ahead and upgrade to the VIP. I did so. Forgot that they were going to deliver the package to my house. My husband owned his own landscaping company, and the day that it came, it was raining. So he was not working. Then I got home from work. I'm bebopping into the door like I always do. I was like, hey, honey, how's it going? And he had his arms crossed and he said, you got something from FedEx. I said, ooh, what is it? Who's it from? Let's open it up. And he said, it's from Karatbars. I said, okay, let's open it up. So I opened it up, and inside, of course, was my absolutely beautiful VIP package. And I said to him, honey, will you take a look at this? I have made VIP with Karatbars, and look what they sent me. Like I didn't have to pay for it, right? So he's still got his arms crossed, and he's still pacing the kitchen, and I can see the steam coming out of his ears. He's upset. And so I tried to explain to him about Cheryl Ann. I tried to explain to him about the dual system. I tried to explain to him how everything had changed, but he wanted absolutely nothing to do with it. So I picked up my phone, I put it on speakerphone, and I called Prepaid Financial Services, which is the company that handles our debit cards. And I said, maybe you want to hear this. I called 877-239-3069. I pushed option 2, put in my Karatbars debit card number, and I put in my PIN, and it tells you your balance. And he looked at me, he goes, well, what is that? And I said, well, that's in euro, but you can convert it to US dollars, and it's this much. He goes, I know about euro exchange. Who is it from? And he said, and I said, I'm sorry, honey, I can't say that word in this house. And he said, Karatbars. And I said, yes. And so at this time, he's still arms crossed. Don't want anything to do with it. And I think it sunk in a little for him at that point, because he uncrossed his arms, and I said, what do you think? And he said, I think you need to go for it. So I did. I went for it with every fiber of my being. Now, take into consideration, at this point, I'm still working 50 hours a week. I am exhausted. I'm still traveling 4,000 miles a month, but I could not get Karatbars out of my head. I knew this was the company that was going to take me to where I wanted to go. So I got by on very little sleep. I was working my full-time job 50 hours a week. As soon as I got home, I was working Karatbars. I would get up extra early and work Karatbars. If I got 3 hours a night sleep, that was the godsend. That was great. But I knew that unless I engaged, unless I did something each and every day to move my business forward, that it would just stagnate. And so I kept on doing what needed to be done. 4 months later, we had a freedom celebration in Nashville, Tennessee. And I had been speaking with a friend and who was a full-time marketer. And he said, you just need to let the corporate job go. And I could not even fathom that. I couldn't fathom letting that salary go, knowing I'm going to get a paycheck for X amount of dollars every 2 weeks. But then I got to thinking, if I'm spending 50 hours a week doing this for a set paycheck, it's not going to get any bigger. Okay? That paycheck's going to stay the same. My benefits are going to stay the same. If I'm doing that for 50 hours a week, why not take that 50 hours a week and put it into something I love? I did not love what I was doing. I didn't like it at all. But I love Karatbars because we only do something so very simple. We teach people in 119 countries to save correctly. That's all we do, guys. We do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So many people get caught up in the business end of it. And as much as we all like to think that everybody in the world needs a Karatbars package and needs to be saving or needs to be recruiting other people, in reality, that's not the case. In reality, our mission as Karatbars affiliates is to help as many people as we can to start a gold savings plan. It's free. People say, well, I don't know, I have to ask my husband. My question to them is, did you ask your husband when you opened up your Facebook account? It's free. It doesn't cost anything, right? So our mission is to get people to start saving money in the correct manner. I posted something on Facebook today. Look at your money, okay? Somewhere on every single one of your bills, 1, 5, 20, 50, 100, it says the words Federal Reserve note. What is a note? A note is a debt. You have a house, note. You have a car, note. And what we're carrying around in our pockets are money notes, which means they are based on two things: debt and a promise. The more money the Federal Reserve creates on a daily basis, and trust me, guys, those printing presses are running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The more you have of something, the less valuable it becomes. So why not take something that's losing value in the market and exchange it for something that has kept its value for thousands of years? Do not let those people who tell you gold is too volatile, the price of gold has went up and down and up and down, and it's not a good way to save money. Yes, the price of gold does go up and down. However, the value remains constant. And that is our job. That is our mission. And, you know, we as people need to understand, if you have a 1 gram, just one, I don't care. You have one, you can have 100, you can have 1,000. You have just 1 gram of gold in your possession. You are in the top 1% of the world. You, my friends, are the elite. You have something that 99% of the people on the earth do not have. You have gold bullion. Guess what? The other 99% don't. Do you know what these people are called in my book? Prospects. We need to be talking to people who do not own physical gold bullion. Do your research. There are countries out there that are saying, we want our citizens to have a minimum of 100 grams of gold. Why would a country say that if it wasn't true? We look back in history and we see all of the things that have happened. We look back and we see Zimbabwe in 2007. The people that had gold were okay. The people that had those 300 trillions, I am a trillionaire in Zimbabwe because I have $300 trillion notes. However, those notes won't buy me a cup of coffee. But the people that had gold were the ones that survived. So the question I have to ask to you and to the people you love and to the people you care about and to people all across the world, do you want them to be able to buy not even a cup of coffee, or do you want them to have something that they can barter with? Now, one of the things I talk about is the 7 degrees of, what's it called? We're all connected by 7 degrees, okay? Everybody, each and every person in the world. There are billions upon billions upon billions of people in this world. Our job is to connect with them. Our job is to show them there's a better way to save your money. As Pastor Di says, we do 2 things in Karatbars. When people say to me, I'm not interested, okay, we do 2 things in Karatbars. We make money and we save money. Which part are you not interested in? There's really not a good comeback for that, right? Everybody wants to make more money. Everybody wants to save more money. The problem is they don't understand that they're saving in a bad way. They need to understand that we're going to teach them how to save correctly. So because of the phone call I got back in June of 2013 from Miss Sherilyn Gober, my life changed. I understood my purpose. I understood what I needed to become in order to be successful. And what I needed to become was a servant. It's not all about Tammy Morrison. It's not all about me. I had to learn that because in my previous life, it was all about me. You know, if I did it and I was successful at it, then yay me. My purpose right now is to make sure that every person within the sound of my voice is successful. And it took a lot of hardship. You know, back in 2012, we ended up filing bankruptcy. People say, why do you tell people that? You shouldn't tell people that. It's part of my story, guys. It's part of my story. Think about it. 5 years ago, less than 5 years ago, I was bankrupt. I had nothing. I had a note on my door that they were going to auction off my house in 3 days. Luckily, I had a friend that helped me out. And you know, yes, he's been paid back. But we have to go through some of the hard times to get to where we are now. And it amazes me so much. Like, I'll be on the phone with somebody and they say, oh, I have somebody who wants to talk to you. They're so excited to talk to you and they can't believe they're talking to me. Guys, I'm nobody special. You and I are all equals. We are all in this together. And my dream and my hope and is that all of us succeed together. If you're not, reach out to me. Let me help you. No, I'm not going to put people on your team, but I'm going to show you how to get people on your team. So, you know, just know that, I guess in closing, no, it's not always been easy. It will not always be easy. There are times when I still feel like I've fallen and bumped my head. However, when we take the times that we go through and we take the hardships that we go through and we take the successes that we go through, what happens in the end is where we're supposed to be. And we just need to fight. You know, many people have been in this company for a while. They haven't really had any success. And it's because they have not reached out to someone to say, hey, I need your help. Look at what people are doing. Make sure that you are studying, okay? I encourage everybody to get plugged into a team. I mean, there's so many teams that are out there. You know, get plugged into Synergy. Make sure that you're getting on their live hangouts. Get plugged in to Wealth Builders Worldwide. If you are in the United States, I would encourage you greatly to go to letsgoweekend.com. Be in Atlanta, April 28th and 29th. Don't quote me on that. Letsgoweekend.com. Get your seat. I have been to thousands of meetings. Not one like this. People say, explain Atlanta to me. I can't. It's an experience. If you're not, you know, if you're in Europe, make sure that you get to the London convention. Harold Seitz will be there. Thomas Brenner will be there. You get to talk to the people that are running this company. So when you know, one of my favorite things is people say, well, Karatbars doesn't work. My question is, how much have you worked? How many people did you talk to today about Karatbars? How many people have you talked to last week about Karatbars? I can promise you one thing. If you talk to 5 people a day, 5, okay? Doesn't matter whether it's the business side, doesn't matter whether it's the saving side. If you talk to 5 people a day for 90 days, you can take Sundays off if you want. 5 people a day, whether it's by text, whether it's in person, whether it's by Facebook, whether it's by email. If you talk to 5 people a day, in 90 days, you cannot help but trip over success. And that is a fact. So I just want to end this with saying that, you know, guys, if I can do it, all of you can do it. I have had my diversity. I have been through the fact where I had a husband that did not believe in what I was doing. He really believes in it now. And we just need to all work together as one team, you know, as one team, and to really stretch ourselves, do something. This is not a job. People say, what do you do? I'm retired. Okay, you know, you're not retired. What is it? Retirement is when you stop doing what you have to do and you start doing what you want to do. And in my eyes, I'm retired because I love what I do. I love helping out people. I love reaching out to people. So if any of you are not connected with me on Skype, Skype is my #1 communication. If you don't have Skype, go to skype.com, download it, it's free. I want you to send me a Skype request. My Skype name is Tammy, Tammy, Morrison, Morrison, and the #1. Let's get you rolling. Let's get you into a situation where you have the training. Hold on, we're going to have to mute somebody out here. Yeah. All right, sorry, my mouth is not working really well right now. But let's get plugged into some training. Let's get whoever's talking, please mute your microphone. So let's get you plugged into what you need to have. Let's get you plugged into weekly trainings. Let's get you plugged into monthly trainings. Let's get you plugged into the live events. I have a group from Baltimore that is driving from Baltimore to Atlanta to bring their entire team to the Let's Go weekend. Okay, I have a group out of Kansas that is driving 16 hours one way to get to the Let's Go training in Atlanta. Get to the live event. Get involved with people who have the same mission that you guys do. Nothing in my life has ever broken me too hard where I cannot come back and be successful. And I'm sure that you guys have your troubles. I'm sure that you guys have your things in your life that you feel are blocking you. What I want you to do is let go of those things. Let go of those things and understand that success is right on the other side of that thing. So let it go. Do what you need to do to make your business successful. And I want you all to know that I love you all. I appreciate you all. If there's anything that I can do for you, add me on Skype, Tammy Morrison 1. Best way to get in contact with me. Do me a favor though. When you send me a contact on Skype, make sure that, it always says, I would like to add you as a contact on Skype. Say, let me know that you're with Karatbars. Okay? Because that's the most important thing, is because I have several people every hour adding me on Skype. I don't know who they are. But if you put Karatbars on there, I know who you are. So I'm very excited, just to be here with you guys to tell you my story. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes it was really, really, really tough. But guys, we have mowed down the grass. We have cut down all the trees. We have made it as easy as possible. We have put this training out there. But until you know where the training is, then you're kind of lost. And I get that. So I want to make sure that I direct you in the right direction. So I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to open it up for Q&A. I'm going to keep recording, and you know why? Because a lot of times I stop the recording and then we have some great questions or we have some great comments, and people need to hear those. So let me look into the chat box right now. If you have a question, I want you to unmute yourself so we don't unmute everybody and have, just a plethora of people talking. But let's look into the chat box first. But if you have a question, go ahead and let me know. Let's see. My mouse is deciding to act crazy today. All right. So anyone have a question? Go ahead and unmute yourself and we'll get to that question. Don't be shy. I don't bite.
Hey, Tommy, can you hear me?
Hi, who's this? Milton. Hi, Milton.
Yes. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Quick question. Some people are nervous, embarrassed, afraid to talk to other people.
Mm-hmm.
What would you recommend to those people to build that courage? Or
Well,
that?
I believe the first thing you have to do is to get across that bridge of believability, okay? You know, we all have a bridge of believability. Now, I have been in other companies where I'm embarrassed to tell people what company I'm with or what product I have. With Karatbars, first of all, you need to be proud, okay? We are an elite company. We are solving problems around the world. We say, when you realize that what you have in the palm of your hand is the solution to a universal problem, okay? The solution is most people don't save, okay? And when they do, when they do save, they're saving incorrectly. So once we understand what we're doing, what our mission is, and we get behind that mission and we thoroughly believe in what we're doing, then it's time to step outside your comfort zone, okay? Now, if you are nervous about talking to somebody about a business, that's okay. Lead with the product first. Our product is great. We don't tell people they look old and they need to use this face cream. We don't tell people they weigh too much and they need to take this weight loss product. We don't tell people, that their cells are not their cells are not working, that they need to take this product in order to make themselves healthy. There is nothing wrong with health and wellness companies. Here's what I believe, okay? There are thousands of health and wellness companies out there. So who's to say what's best? We don't know, okay? Now, people come into a health and wellness company, they use the products, they get good results. However, those results do not apply to the masses, okay? So you may have a fantastic product, but it doesn't help the masses. And when you're involved in a company, your product needs to help the masses. Does gold, okay, everybody shake the head up and down. Does our product help the masses? Yes, it does. Because each and every person over the age of 18 and breathing needs to have some gold in their account. When I was little, a 5-gram bar of gold cost $6. What's it going to be worth 10 years from now? What's it going to be worth 20 years from now? 30 years from now? So we need to show people how to save correctly, not in the banking system. I don't have a savings account. I have no money in the bank, not a dime. I've got enough to pay my bills. I pay my bills, and I got about $20 left over.
For a pizza.
For pizza, exactly. I have $20 left over. My banker.
I got a question for you, Tammy.
Yes, Ernesto.
You hung around with Boomer.
Yes.
You grew up with Boomer.
I did.
If you could possibly, because every time I see you guys, Cheryl and everybody else, that's who I think about, and Harold, of course. But if you could possibly do it, what is the one thing that you learned from Boomer, and what is the one thing that you can tell us to concentrate on?
I learned so many things from Boomer.
Guess what? The one at the top, if you could do it. If not, then don't.
It's a funny one, okay? But It's a funny one. Boomer had what we call boomerisms. Okay, it was just something that he came out with, all of a sudden. And I remember I was on an elevator with Boomer and Claire, his wife, in Miami of 2014. And Boomer never called me Tammy. He always called me Tams, which is funny because growing up, I was never Tammy until I entered the corporate world. I was always Tam. But he called me Tam. So if you guys want to call me Tam from now on, I'll be happy with that. That's going to take me back to my childhood and make me feel younger. But we're on the elevator and he says, you know what, Tams? And I said, what? He said, a blind squirrel with a note in his mouth could work Karatbars. Which means that's how easy it is. If a blind squirrel with a note in his mouth could work Karatbars, any of us could work Karatbars. Because basically we're just showing people how to save in the correct way. What I would encourage everyone on this call to do, take some time every day, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour, go to YouTube, find Big Boomer Dan Garolmo. I don't know what his Facebook page is. Girolmo, Garolmo. Maybe it's just Boomer. I don't know. He has a Facebook, he has a YouTube page. Listen to what he's saying. Because of all the people that I've worked with in Karatbars, he made the most sense. And God rest his soul, he is still with us. He is still there guiding this company, and he forever will be. So just make sure that you are listening to the things he has to say. I miss talking to him. I miss everything about him. But luckily, he was smart enough to create a channel where we can actually go in every day and listen to some of his words of wisdom. So it's either Dan Garolmo, Girolmo, Big Boomer Dan, or just Boomer. Find it on YouTube. He has a channel. Listen to what he has to say because the man was a genius. All right. Is there any other questions that we might have? Chat box. I'm going in there. Oh, Ernesto posted something. How to build Karatbars by Boomer.
Hello.
Hello, who's that?
It's Danny from New Jersey.
It's who from New Jersey?
Danny got bars.
Hey, Danny.
I just wanted to say, so you can actually hear it this time, thank you so much. Whenever I need those KYCs approved, you do such a great job. So thank you. I'm glad you came back to help me.
No problem. That's what I'm here for. And guys, if you're not connected with me on Skype, go ahead and connect with me on Skype. Tammy Morrison 1. If you have a KYC that's taking 24 to 48 hours, send me a Skype message. KYC, please, and the username. I copy, paste it, put it into our KYC room, and I can help you get those approved. It's, Cheryl Ann said she gave me a promotion and put me in the KYC room. It wasn't a promotion, it was just more work. But it's something that I do for each and every one of you, and I will continue to do for each and every one of you. So I expect all of you to send me a Skype request within the next few days. Tammy Morrison 1. Remember, I'm with Karatbars. Put that in there so I know that you're not some, Indian prince wanting you to move, down there and bear his children. So I want to help each and every one. That is my passion, and that's what I'm here to do. So thank you, Danny, for that. I appreciate it. Anyone else?
Hey, one more, Tammy. What's your sleep pattern like?
I don't have.
Do you go to bed at a certain time every single day, like 4 in the morning?
Sometimes, yes, 4 in the morning. Somebody asked me the other day, what shift do you work? And I said, all of them. So, I try to be here as much as possible for everybody. You know, I've tried in the last year to really take care of myself and sleep a little bit more than I was. But someone said something, I think it was Ronald Smith said something the other day that, you know, he can feel the energy. Okay. And, you know, the energy back in 2013 or 2013 was palpable. You could feel it. It was so strong. And what I'm feeling today and what Ronald's feeling and what I hope a lot of you are feeling is that same energy. Because guys, we're not going anywhere. We are here to stay. We have the best company in the world. We have the best CEO and visionary in the world. We have the best leadership. We have the best corporate office. If there's anything that you need, okay, connect with me on Skype. Tell me what it is, and we're going to get to the bottom of it, because not everybody is perfect, but we are going to make this. No company is perfect, but we can make this the most perfect company out there. And so I'm just excited that we're all here together and we all have that same common goal in mind. It's not about the money. It's about the freedom. It's about the freedom that I have to work at home. It's about the freedom I have to make dinner every night. It's about the freedom I have to help, you know, be there when my daughter gets off the school bus and, you know, make cookies and do homework and all of those other things. So it's about the time freedom that we get. And it's about, you know, being able to work with like-minded people. Also, one other thing, we have an international Facebook room. Okay, international Facebook room is if you go to Facebook and you type in the search box, Karatbars World, 2 words, Karatbars, and then a space and world. I want you to request to join that team. Okay, because that is our international team. We do a lot of welcoming in, but it is a family atmosphere. You can ask questions in that room. You can comment on things. The one thing that I tell you is if you comment or try to post something that is not Karatbars directly related, I will delete the post the first time. If you do it again, I'll remove you from the room, because I'm the sheriff of that room. Okay? I'm the sheriff, and I'm going to make sure that that room is safe. It is a safe haven for all of us to come to and be able to be a part of our family. So make sure that you're requesting Karatbars World on Facebook. If for some reason I send you a message asking for your Karatbars username, make sure that you're checking your messages that come through that you don't get on a normal basis. Make sure you're checking those to make sure I didn't send you a message to get your Karatbars username, because I don't know all of you. I want to know all of you, but it's hard. So make sure that we are doing that. But, you know, any other questions before we close it out? All right, let me check this Skype or the chat box one more time. Cheryl says no thanks. It was a great meeting. Cheryl did put in the chat box the link to get to the Karatbars World room. So if you guys want to check on that. Hey, Reggie King over there in his cowboy hat. Look at you looking all fly. All right, guys. You know, with that being said, make it to the live events. Make it to, you know, if you're anywhere near London, get there. Okay, the information is in Karatbars World. If you're anywhere in the U.S., get to Atlanta. It will be in a situation where you walk out of there going, wow. You know, there's not many times when I walk out of a meeting going, that was the most incredible meeting I've ever been to. It's not. There's no boredom. There's no nothing. It is fun. It is absolutely a blast, and you will learn so much. So no other questions. I'm going to go ahead and end the call with this. is when you come into Karatbars, you know, you get your business package and you do nothing. What you will get is nothing. When you come into Karatbars and you buy your business package and you're sharing the good word of Karatbars every day, not just when you feel like it, but every day, you're sharing the vision of Karatbars. The vision can be, for some people, they want to buy a package, work this, and make some incredible money. The other vision of Karatbars is they just want to come in and save money in the correct way. So figure out where people fit in. Do not put everybody in a box. Ask them their why. That could be the most important conversation you have with anybody. What is your why? If their why is, I just want to save money for my child's college education, maybe they just want to be a free affiliate and save gold. If their why is, I want to be able to volunteer more, I want to be able to donate to causes more, I want to be able to make more money to pay off my house. I want to make more money is not a why. What do they want to, why do they want to make more money? Zero in on their why. Figure out where they fit it. And once you figure that out, the rest is easy. So with that being said, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. It means the world to me. Love you all. And we will see you next Tuesday. I'm not sure what the topic is going to be. We'll figure that out. And we do these every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern, 9 p.m. in South Africa, which is how we started doing these meetings with just my South African team. But we're going to expand it to everyone because I want everyone in Karatbars to be successful. So checking the Skype box one more time. I'm sorry, I say Skype box. It's a chat. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you there. Awesome, guys. Have a wonderfully blessed day. And if there's anything I can do for you, reach out to me on Skype. I'm always there, you know. So have a blessed day. Bye, guys.